Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's DealerOn webinar, the secret ingredient missing from your SEO recipe. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'll be your moderator today. And today's webinar is being presented by DealerOn. And for anyone who isn't familiar with DealerOn, well, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, best known for our search engine optimization, our best-in-class customer service, and our award-winning website designs, including the newly launched Chameleon responsive website platform. We're so committed to lead conversion, optimization, and customer service that DealerOn is still the only company in the industry to offer a money-back lead guarantee program. So does your website company guarantee you a 50% lift in leads? Well, then maybe you should check us out at DealerOn.com. And we have a great show in store for you today. We're very pleased to have JD Rucker as our presenter today. JD Rucker has spent a decade on the retail side of the car business before coming over to the vendor side in 2007. Since then, he's been a leader in the development of automotive social media strategies, taking on the mad scientist role of applying techniques from other industries to become effective methodologies for car dealers. In 2013, he founded Dealer Authority, an automotive social media firm dedicated to focusing on quality rather than quantity for his clients' digital marketing presence. As an avid writer, contributor, blogger, and traveler, he can also be reached at JD Rucker at DealerAuthority.com. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, don't worry, we'll respond by email later today. And don't forget, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording will also be emailed to you later today for your reference, and please feel free to share it with friends and colleagues. I also want to let you know that DealerOn is excited to announce their involvement at the upcoming Dealer Think Tank in Washington, D.C. August 14th. The Dealer Think Tank is spearheaded by a handful of dynamic subject matter experts who provide strategies, discuss ideas, challenge ideology, and create solutions for real-world problems facing the automotive industry. The think tanks have been garnering tremendous praise for their intensely informative, fun-filled education workshops, so don't miss it. If you haven't gotten your ticket yet, well, guess what? DealerOn's here to help with an exclusive code. Now, the last few weeks we've been offering a $100 discount, but today this discount code is going to score you 50% off the ticket price. Just use the discount code on the screen when you register. And I want to let you know, you lucky people that came in early, if you message me directly during this webinar, I might be able to get you into the Dealer Think Tank for free. So for more information, go to DealerThinkTank.com. And guess what? Our good friends at Dealer Authority, they're giving away a fantastic prize today on the webinar. One of you lucky webinar attendees will win 3 months of free comprehensive social media services from Dealer Authority. Dealer Authority's social media service is the only one in the automotive industry that was designed from the ground up to take advantage of the targeting data that social media offers in order to sell more cars. It's singularly focused on delivering a real ROI rather than fluff or excuses. This amazing prize is valued at $3,075, and all you have to do is stay tuned for details after JD's presentation, and you could be walking away with this totally awesome prize today. And at the conclusion of the webinar, you're going to receive a short survey. So please fill it out because we're always looking for quality feedback from our audience. Today we're going to randomly select a couple of people from all the completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. So let's get started. Let's learn the secret ingredient missing from your SEO recipe. JD Rucker, my old friend, how are you?
I'm not that old yet. I'm only 40. I'm old.
Audience, if you missed it before the webinar began, well, I'm here to tell you, we have a very special birthday today. JD Rucker is, in fact, it's not just his birthday. It's his fabulous 40 birthday. That's right. He is out of his dirty 30s and now into his fabulous 40s. And for that, we are so grateful you are here with us today, not just to talk to us about automotive awesomeness, but also to spend your birthday with us and the whole DealerOn crew. Thank you so much.
No problem. Absolutely. Wouldn't want to spend it with anybody else. So this is an important topic, and it's one that has been near and dear to my heart for really since 2010, approximately December of 2010, when it was really first announced that Google was looking at social signals, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. There's a lot of good information, a lot of bad information out there. We're going to try to clear that up and then finish off with showing you the exact ways that you'll be able to apply it yourself. You can hop in there, make an impact on your own SEO by utilizing these techniques and strategies that we've been using ourselves and that have been proven to work to move your rankings up very nicely. So today we're going to be showing you again how it works, what they are, and how you can get them yourselves. Then we'll be doing the question and answer feature. I'll be going very quickly. We'll be sending you these slides, as Eliana said, so definitely pay attention. Good stuff here. First and foremost, there's a lot of questions about social signals, and Google came on earlier this year, and they really tried to dissuade. They tried to change the system in a way to make people kind of look away from social signals. I'll explain why they did that later, but let's first look at the actual people doing it. For those who are familiar with this gentleman or are not familiar with this gentleman, his name is Matt Cutts. He's the basically what's called the spam czar for Google. He runs their spam team. He's the one that's supposed to go out there and quote-unquote fight SEOs, and that's kind of, we'll start right there. That's not exactly true. He's very good friends with good SEOs. His goal and his team's goal is to fight bad SEOs, black hat SEOs, those people that are doing the wrong things. And he came on and recorded a video that basically denounced the concept of social signals as a work. And keep in mind, we are very much attuned to Google in a way that we believe them. 99% of the time they give us the roadmap. They give us everything that we need to know. You don't have to fight Google. You just have to do what they tell you to do. But in this particular case, and I'll explain why, they were. I think that they're hiding. And when I say I think, I'm 100% certain that they're hiding something specific. This is a quote from the video that they put out there, and I want you to look at the wording. The wording itself, it looks as if it's written by a spin doctor. And when Matt gets on, he's always off the cuff. He's very, very transparent, very straightforward. That during this entire video, as he's saying, social signals don't work, he's a different man. It's almost as if he's been instructed to say these things. And I'm not going to accuse him of lying per se, but you could tell that there's a little bit of spin doctoring or politicking involved here. To the best of my knowledge, we don't currently have any signals like that in our web search ranking algorithm. That's a quote, and that's, I mean, if you can't read between the lines, that's a very a very politically stated quote. He has to be careful with what he says, because he already got kind of caught back in 2010. In May of 2010, they said that they weren't looking at social signals. Then in December of 2010, they said, no, absolutely, we've been using social signals since the start. And so people kind of called him out on that. They have to be very careful. And here's why. I'm going to show you what, this is Moz. This is the 2014 ranking factors according to Moz. They go through and they do some tests, and they get the opinions of SEOs around the world based upon their testing. And this has been really getting pushed out since about mid-2013 when search engine optimizers were really starting to notice that social media was having a dramatic impact on the rankings. And it's important for Google that you don't know this, that we don't know this. They really are trying to push away from the concept of anybody looking at this, because they don't know how to truly master it yet. They love the data, and that's the data that they want. They want to know, okay, so if a piece of content is good and worth putting on the search results, it's probably good enough to share. That's kind of the basic concept. And we started seeing in the SEO world that Google+, Facebook, and Twitter for sure are making an impact. Those numbers there, Google+ is actually listed number 2 as far as the overall rankings of over 200 different search criteria or search components. They have Google+ listed as number 2. Facebook and Twitter are in there as well, closer to the top than the bottom. They make an impact. It's very clear. We've done our own tests on dealers for really a couple of years now, and the impacts are getting stronger, not weaker. Now you probably say, well, why wouldn't they just admit it? They admit that links have an effect. They admit that high quality content has an effect. Why would they worry about this? And here's my conclusion, or my hypothesis, I guess you could say, is that social signals are out of their control. They like them. They enjoy what's coming through. They want to know what people are liking and what they don't like. But they also know that if search engine optimizers catch too much wind of this, that they will take advantage of it. It's gameable. With links, Google basically fixed the link problem, the link gameability, back in April 24th, 2012, when they came out with the first Penguin update, and they've had subsequent updates ever since that basically announced that, hey, we now can tell the difference between a good link and a bad link. We know when there's a link scheme going on, and we can actually penalize people if they're trying too hard to get links. They want the links to be natural. The same thing is true in social media. They want the social media shares to be natural. They want these to be real people that are sharing a piece of content because they really, truly enjoy it. Problem is that they haven't figured out quite yet how to make that happen. So in the meantime, they're trying to make sure that to get pure data, they're dissuading search engine optimization people from trying to accumulate, Google +1s, Facebook shares, Twitter. They're doing everything they can to keep us from looking in that direction until they get to that point that they figure out how to understand the quality metric, how to be able to tell the difference between a fake account and a real account, how to give authority to somebody who's been using Twitter for years and has become very popular. And they're not just looking for, well, look at the number of followers or look at the number of circles that are added, people on Google Plus, or the number of followers on and fans on Facebook. They're not looking at that stuff. They can't, because it's not an accurate data. Once they get that figured out, then they'll be a little bit more public about it. But in the meantime, they have to put out this information. The data shows that social signals work, despite what Google says. And again, I want you guys to know I'm not a conspiracy theorist when it comes to Google. I do believe 99% of what they tell us, and that is the roadmap that you should be following or your SEO company should be following. But in this particular case, there is a little bit of misleading, and we can understand why they're doing that. So that is what it is. We'll accept it. They get this one little white lie that they're allowed to have. But even if not, okay, even if you're like, well, you know what, Google says they don't work, so I'm going to say they don't work. So let's look at some factors that there's. I mean, keep in mind, Google still says to use it, and here's why. There's one of Eliana's and my favorite actresses right there.
Love her. Love
awesome.
her. For anyone who doesn't remember, she used to be on the X-Files, and she is fabulous. Scully, that's right, people are writing in.
Yeah. Well, and if you're like Scully, if you're skeptical, if you believe the truth is out there, then you should still be looking at social signals for several reasons. Yes, it does. When things are shared on social media, it means traffic. If you have pages on your website that are getting shared, you're sending people there, and that's a good thing. And when you get traffic, you have the ability to get inbound links. People that see the content, they like it, they consider it authoritative. Now they're willing to actually link to it. And we also know, and Google has very readily acknowledged, that inbound links definitely have an effect on search rankings. About 3 months ago, Google ran a test, very limited test of what would the search rankings look like if we pull out the links, and the test failed miserably. They acknowledged it. They said, we tried it. We put it up there for a couple of days. We haven't gotten that figured out yet. Google has always been, they built their company based upon utilizing inbound links as the primary criteria for the rankings, and this is supposed to have been a 10-year plan for them, because they always knew that call them a very forward-thinking company. They always knew that they were going to be, that they would need to be able to get out of that realm because of the gameability of it and because of the ever-changing nature of the internet. So they said, look, let's do this, and this is approximately 5 years ago. They said, we got a 10-year plan. We're going to try to figure out how to get the best results for our customers, and their customers are searchers, how to get the best results for our customers without links. And they tried it a little bit, I guess call it a midway test point. It failed miserably. They acknowledged it. Someday inbound links won't work. If you trust Google, and I do, they should be able to get that figured out within the next 5 years. So that day is not today. So social media can help you get that, and they do recommend it. They might say, hey, we don't believe in social signals. Whether or not you believe that's true or not, Google still recommends that there's a secondary effect. When you do get shares, you have the ability to get better rankings as a result of the effects of tweets, of Google Plus Ones, of repins, of anything that basically points back to your site or is associated with your site at all. So we've talked about the why. Now let's get into some specifics. What exactly are social signals? And I'll go through this briefly because I know that this is an educated crew. I think I'm going to go into the exact details of what works for sure and what does not. So when we're looking at the hierarchy here of social media sites that are considered to be social signals that affect search rankings, we know Google has not ever acknowledged it, but they've never denied it, and the numbers are very clear. Google Plus Ones do help. It's not just Google Plus Ones; it's also your actual Google Plus page. You call it your local business page, your reviews page. The more people that are following you or have you added in circles, the more plus ones you're getting there, the better off. When you have individual pieces of content that are shared on Google Plus, those plus ones do seem to have a very direct relationship with your rankings. We did a pure test, where we literally created a page. We were shooting for a particular keyword. We took the rankings prior to Google Plus Ones. We did nothing to the page for an entire month. Then we started adding plus ones to the page, and the rankings started improving very, very, very quickly, like faster than you would ever imagine from an SEO perspective. We also believe that Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn are very, very likely. I will never, until we have the data says that it works. Most SEOs, most reputable SEOs outside of the automotive industry, and even many of them in the automotive industry, acknowledge that it's very likely and that they've seen data that shows it. But until we have something definitive, we can only be at that 99%. We can't say 100%. With Google Plus, it's 100%. With Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, we're probably looking at about 95 to 99% certainty that it is. They do have a dramatic effect. You've got Pinterest, Tumblr, YouTube. They probably have an effect. And again, when I say, Pinterest for sure has an effect on Bing. Tumblr for sure has an effect with certain posts. Now this, keep in mind, I want to be very, very clear here before we move on to the next slide. These sites are more powerful being used for social media. Don't look at social signals as like, don't use that as the reasoning behind them. Google Plus, Facebook, and Twitter in particular can have a dramatic social media impact, and they do have an impact on SEO. If you don't have time to have a good Pinterest profile, if you can't build up a strong Tumblr page, don't go do it now just because, well, I want better SEO, so I'm going to go grab a Tumblr. If you don't have the time to make them awesome, it's not worth spending the time on them. Focus on Google Plus, Facebook, and Twitter. And LinkedIn. You probably have a LinkedIn page for the dealership. So don't take this as wow, I got to go build me a bunch of new things, or I got to get reopen that account and get active on it again. If you are active, then utilize what we're about to show you. If you're not active, focus on what you already have going for you. Don't go build something new. You have a Facebook page, utilize it. You have Facebook profiles at your dealership, utilize them. You have Twitter accounts, you have Google Plus accounts. Take advantage of those. Those are the low-hanging fruit. If you put all of your efforts into those, then you'll still win. But if you do have Tumblr, you have Pinterest, you got everything else going, awesome. Now you notice there's one missing here, and that would be Instagram. Instagram does not have an effect on SEO. We've tried multiple different ways. We've consulted with some people outside of the industry. Does that make Instagram useless? Absolutely not. Instagram has tremendous branding abilities. It's great for getting your name out there and getting some awesome interaction, especially with younger people. When you look at the younger buyers, I'm not talking about the younger buyers like 30 to 39-year-olds. I'm talking about the younger buyers like 18 to 24-year-olds. They love Instagram. And that will probably change eventually because it's shifting away from even there. But as of today, they're very, very active on Instagram. More so in many cases. There's a lot of people that are saying that Instagram is bigger than Facebook for that particular age group. So we'll see. But again, no SEO value, plenty of branding opportunities, plenty of fun, and it's very quick and easy to do. If you ever want to look at a good one, I know Mike the car guy over at Raceway Ford in California has pretty much mastered the art of utilizing Instagram for his dealership. So don't tell him I told you, but yeah, check out his stuff. He is the master. We defer to him. So now I want to get a little bit of information from you guys. Eliana?
Oh, thank you so much, JD. That's right. This is our only poll question of the day, so we'd love it if you could get involved. And the question is on your screen now. And we want to know, how much does your dealership currently spend on SEO per month? Please select one of the following answers. Is it nothing? Do you spend less than $500? Do you spend somewhere between $500 and $1,000? Between $1,000 and $2,000? Or does your dealership spend more than $2,000 on SEO per month? Once we get a majority of the votes in, we'll close the poll and we'll share the results. And thank you so much, everyone, for voting. We really appreciate it when you get involved and get engaged with what we're doing here on the webinar. Yes, I know you come to learn and you sit and relax and probably have something to snack on, but it's always great, too, when you also get involved. And by the way, if you have questions for JD Rucker, please send them on in after his presentation. We're going to be getting to those questions in a live Q&A session with JD Rucker himself. And honestly, there's no better brain to pick than JD Rucker when it comes to SEO and to social media. So don't be shy. Give us your questions. He's the expert, and he is here to help you out. And yes, David Sharp is right. He is the birthday brain. So thank you for that. Okay, well, audience, thank you so much for your votes. JD Rucker, if you're ready, I will reveal what my very savvy audience had to say about this question. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, here we go. Let's close this poll and share the results. Well, I got to say, surprisingly, my very savvy audience, a quarter of my awesome audience, 25%, says that they currently spend nothing on SEO per month. Now, does that surprise you, JD, 25%?
Yeah, I think it's a little high, I would say. But it could be that they're so savvy that they're just awesome at doing it themselves.
Oh,
so,
well, that would be it. All right, all right. Well, only 3% of today's audience said that they spend less than $500. 16% said that they spend between $500 and $1,000. And we have an even 28% of the audience that spend between $1,000 and $2,000 and more than $2,000. So the majority of today's audience is spending more than $1,000 on SEO per month. What do you have to say about that, JD? Is that right in line with what you were thinking?
Yeah, the second part is absolutely, because here's the thing, and I'm not trying to insult any of those who are not spending enough, but real SEO does require manual effort, and manual effort doesn't come cheap. It's not something that you can usually get with a $500 package. In many cases, you don't get really the money's worth out of a $1,000 package. And I'm not trying to say, oh, hop on DealerOn's whatever. I don't even know how much you guys charge for SEO. It's not a,
we gotta ask.
but it's just this. To get it right, you have to have content added all the time. You have to have links added regularly. You have to have social signals. You have to make sure that the technical side is covered. It's a pretty in-depth thing, and for years, right, we'll go all the way back to 2007. I've been fighting. Well, SEO is something that you check it off. Okay, yep, got SEO done, and that's just not the case. The gap between good SEO and bad SEO is huge. And the gap between good SEO and great SEO is even bigger. So if you're aggressive, if you're really wanting to make an impact, SEO is one of the best ways to do it. I'm not saying that because I sell SEO, we do, but I'm saying that because that's the reality. If I owned a dealership today, I would be, and even if I handcrafted my own SEO program, built it around, the exact way that I wanted it, I would say the bare minimum I could spend on it would be about $1,500, depending upon the size of the dealership that I owned. So
to your point, JD, Bruce wrote in, and he believes that 25% who said that they spend nothing, he believes that those people are doing it in-house. He agreed with you.
Yeah, they have to be, because if I would say there is a percentage of people that don't believe SEO. I was talking to a good friend. I think he's often a webinarist on for DealerOn as well. I was talking to a friend who really pushes. Well, I don't know if he is a webinar, so I won't say his name.
Okay.
He's an extremely well-respected PPC and provider, and so he's obviously PPC being almost the opposite or somewhat against it, at least that's the perception, that PPC people go against SEO and SEO people go against PPC. From that regard, it's easier for him to say, oh, SEO is smoke and mirrors. And I had a debate with him, not a public one, but we had an argument basically. It was a friendly argument. We had an argument about it, and he actually convinced me that he was right, that SEO is smoke and mirrors 99% of the time.
Really?
Well, yeah, because he was saying, look, I'm not saying that all SEO is worthless or all SEO is smoke and mirrors, but if you look at the products out there, the majority of products that vendors are putting out are not good. And and I guess from that regard, technically he was correct. So if you're going to spend money on SEO, make sure that you're spending it appropriately. And if you're going to be doing SEO yourself, make sure you're doing it appropriately. Make sure that you're keeping track. Panda 4.0 came out. This is a big one. This is a big one just from a month ago, and this had some impact. We had, I'll tell you just a quick story. We had our when we first launched the company, one of our biggest aspects, the biggest components of our SEO product was guest blog posts. That was something that was arguably one of the top 3 or 4 most powerful SEO things that you could do. Widely recognized throughout the SEO industry as kind of a must-have. Google shut that down. Google basically came out, put out a video similar to the social signals video that said, look, guest posts are out. We don't, if you do it too much, it's going to have a negative impact on you. And like I said, I believe Google 99% of the time. The day that I heard that video, we removed it. We removed guest posts from our service. And those are the kind of things that keeping up with Google, keeping up with Bing, and being able to look ahead, not just at what they're doing today and what they announce on on their blog or what goes up on Search Engine Land or Moz or any of those blogs. It also takes the analysis of understanding what is Google's mentality, what direction are they heading, and why are they putting out things like this. What is going to be SEO tomorrow as well? Because you've got to always prepare for that. It's one of the reasons I make it a habit. I go visit my friends at Google at least once a year. I try to get up there more often, but we talk about it, and anyway. Long story short is that spending $0, awesome as long as you're doing it yourself. Spending $1,000, $2,000 somewhere in that range, maybe a little bit more depending upon the size of your dealership, the competition level of your metro area, very justified. Chances are, if you have a $500 or an $800 SEO package that's not attached to something else, and I'll clarify that here shortly, but if it's not attached to something else, then it's probably not doing much. Is it inexpensive? Sure. But
I was going to say, Ruben kindly wrote in, and he said, well, most of the web providers usually provide SEO push on their product that dealers don't need to spend too much on additional SEO, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
that is unless they want to go above and beyond.
I couldn't have said it better myself. When I say unless it's in addition to, or when I say in conjunction with, yes, web providers are able to do that. DealerOn, as a perfect example, is able to offer what I would consider to be, and I've looked at DealerOn's SEO product very closely. If it were a standalone SEO product by itself, and they were just an SEO company, we're looking at a $1,500 to $2,000 SEO package. But because they sell it in conjunction with their websites, they don't have to charge that much for that individual component because they're doing other things for the dealership. Plus, they have the advantage of having full control over what they're doing because it's their websites. When we charge more than that for our SEO, and a lot of times people are like, wow, I'm paying very little for websites, but a ton for SEO. There's a reason, and it's a lot of times we have challenges. There's one web provider and 2 companies that we don't work with, but it can be a challenge. Whereas with a website provider, they kind of have it. It's almost like you can have navigation installed, and it's a lot more expensive to have navigation installed into a vehicle than it is for the manufacturer to build it with navigation already installed in there. That's why it's cheaper that way, and that's kind of what you're looking at. So yes, I'm not saying that you need a $2,000 SEO package from your website provider. I'm saying that if you are going to get that extra juice, that extra SEO on top of what your website providers are offering, then $500 is not going to do it. That's all I'm trying to get.
Right. No, I hear you. I feel like if all you're doing is what the provider is giving you, I I mean, aren't they doing the same thing for everyone? So if you want to step
Yeah.
it up and, get on top of all of your market, don't you want to try and have more SEO?
Well, there's a reason why we have the majority. I would say the majority of our clients are either on Cobalt or Dealer.com. Nothing against those companies. I'm not going to start a war here, but they work for the manufacturer. They don't work for the dealers.
Bing,
so how
right there,
you know
right there.
I mean,
Because they
yeah.
don't care how
So
many cars get sold. They just want the cars sold. That's what the OEM wants.
exactly. All right, let's happy birthday and throwing stones in glass houses. Awesome.
You're doing a great job.
Let's talk about the Gaza conflict now. No, okay. So let's get into some very detailed, and this is the part where I go in and I'm going to show you exactly step by step what I would do if I was an internet manager or a general manager, a sales manager, whatever. If I'm responsible for the digital marketing at my dealership, it doesn't matter if I'm paying somebody else for SEO or not. I still want to make sure that I'm doing these things. And these things that I'm going to show you, it doesn't mean that you have to go through and do all of them. It means that you have to make sure that these things are happening. You have to make sure that this is actually occurring on your site. Okay. So first and foremost, generate real content. Okay. This is not SEO content. This is the type of content that you could picture being shared on Facebook. That Bob, your cousin Bob and Sally would see that and say, "Wow, share this. Let's get this out there. This is really cool, fun, interesting, amazing, useful, educational, awesome information, and we want to share that." This is missing from everybody. If you just do this one step alone, you're already differentiating yourself from your competitors, because nobody's doing this unless they're working with a company like us, or if they're very, very, very active. They're not creating real content. Now, let me explain what real content is. The reason that you're not getting social signals today is because there's nothing on your site that's worth sharing. Chances are you don't have anything that's like, wow, this is great. I want to share this. People are going there, and you say, oh well, I've got social signal buttons on my inventory. Who's going to share inventory? I've seen it a couple times where it's like, hey guys, I'm considering this vehicle. What do you guys think? But nobody's going to reshare that. Nobody's going to take that. There's not going to be any social interaction with the page. There might be with that individual person asking his friends or her friends, should I buy this car or not? But that's about it. Otherwise, putting social buttons, it's almost worthless unless the content is worth sharing itself. So you've got to get real content. Content should be localized, and especially with the Hummingbird update of last October, you want to make sure that it's definitely personalized to the dealership. It could be OEM stuff, and keep in mind when I say shareable content, it's got to be unique, real content. People have to write this. It can't be the type of content that is, don't copy and paste a press release from the OEM. Don't get a RSS feed plugging in duplicate content onto your site from Autoblog or Jalopnik or anything like that. It has to be real stuff. It can be in the form of videos. I think one of the easiest ways to do it is to take a video or create a video, put it on your website, write up a paragraph or two about it, and get that page out there on social media. One of the most popular ones I ever saw was a Mazda store that asked, basically they showed how to change the battery in the Mazda key fob. It's a little 3-minute video. They wrote up instructions about it, and it got some pretty strong shares. So get real content out there. It can be automotive. It can be localized. It could be 10 iconic images of the Smoky Mountains. I don't know. If you're close to the Smoky Mountains, it could just be pictures and a slight description of it. And people will look at that and share it. And you're thinking, well, what do I care if I'm ranked for pictures of the Smoky Mountains? You're not. Okay, that's not your goal. The difference between social signals and every other aspect of SEO, when you're looking at link building or link earning, when you're looking at content, those are all page specific. When you look at social signals, there's definitely some page specification to it, or specificity, I should say, but there's also a very domain-wide impact. In other words, if you have a piece of content that does very well, it gets 30 retweets, 50 Facebook shares and likes, 20 Google Plus ones, gets repinned a bunch. The effects of that particular page and that particular piece of content permeate across the domain. So this page, when Google looks at this, they say, "Wow, this page is really doing well. The site is putting out really good content. Let's see what happens." And this truly is not an individual person's mentality. This is kind of the way the algorithm thinks. We're serving content, and it's getting shared by people. Let's serve more content. Let's see what happens when we move them up in the rankings for this or for that or for the others. Again, it's not a true, there's not a thought process to the algorithm, but that's kind of the mentality behind the people who built the algorithm in that way. They want to make sure that the content that they're serving to their customers, and their customers are the searchers, they want to make sure that content is enjoyable and useful to people. So the more pages you have like this that are real content, this affects the other content, the important content, getting your inventory ranked, getting your service specials ranked, getting all these pages that can actually drive business to your site. That's why you're creating this additional real content. One of the best things that you can do that doesn't require hiring a Pulitzer Prize writer is to just keep an eye on what's coming. We worked with a dealership last year on getting that. We were all over, as a Chevy dealership, we were all over the upcoming Corvette. We had a page, then that page was updated semi-regularly every time any new news about the upcoming Stingray, the upcoming convertible Stingray, all those things. When that information was coming out, we were updating that page and getting it shared out on social media. And there's a reason why they were triple oversold before the first one ever hit. Now, you're probably thinking, wow, like it's really hard to sell the new Vet. It's not, but it's still, when you did a search, they were there for everything that had to do with Corvette, and it helped the rest of the rankings. We took advantage. We basically hopped on a trend, hopped on a popular piece of content pertaining to the OEM, and we localized it. We personalized it. That page today, I believe, I haven't been there in a long time, but the page today shows a video of them unwrapping the first Corvette, and that video itself has had a lot of views. So good stuff. Generate real content. And if you would like examples, feel free to reach out to me. I'll show you examples on live dealer websites of actual awesome, amazing, real content that can be shared. So that's it. No, wait, there's more than that. Okay.
I was going to say.
Well, if they just do that, if they build one piece of content a week, two pieces of content a week, two pieces of content a month, they hire a part-time writer. If you go down to your local college and apply to get an intern, heck, get it for free. Have them work for a semester and build amazing content about what's happening at the community. Do it at the dealership. Get videos and talk to people. It kills me when I hear, I hear about we have this couple. They came in and they bought a car, and it was for their granddaughter just turned 16, and now they're officially 5 generations of people in that family have bought cars from us. I'm like, okay, cool. Where is it on your website? Oh, well, it's not. Oh, okay. So I'm assuming you got a video, or you talked to them about it, and you got a story up there on your social media. Oh no, it's not. We didn't. It was just a fun story to tell. If you're going to tell stories, tell it on your website. Tell it through social media. Don't just tell it by word of mouth. Word of mouth is dying. Okay, this is word of mouse now. This is all digital. So get that information, get the stories out there. Generate real content at the dealership level, at the local level, at the OEM level, but personalize it all, and you will be able to get this stuff. If you do that alone, you're good. But then there is more to it. You do want to make sure that the sharing buttons are there. And I'm not talking, the one thing that kills me, and I don't know, and I know there's a lot of companies that do this, if they're using the wrong type of share buttons, the ones that and basically you can tell, the best ones you can do, and you can't do this with every website, but the best ones you can use are the native ones. Okay, the actual Facebook button, the Facebook code, plug that into the page. The actual Google Plus, if it's a visual post, then Pinterest works out great there. Twitter, of course. Get the right buttons up there, because people will share if they have the opportunity, if it's great content. If you have poor buttons, if they're not visible, or if they're they don't work, or they're redirects or anything like that, then they're not giving you the true benefit of what you're doing. Now, I spoke to a dealership, actually a dealer group, a while back, and they were telling me, we're bought in, we love social signals, we're starting to see some effects. Like, oh, well, what are you doing? He's like, well, I had everybody at the dealership create an account. I said, well, and there's a dealer group. He said, I had everybody at the dealer group create an account, and so we're just everybody's plus oneing everything. And I thought, wow, and it's working. He's like, yeah, it's working great. And I told him, I said, you got to be very careful because there was a time when you could build 10, 15, 30,000, 100,000 inbound links to a particular page or a particular website, and that worked. But Google didn't like that. So Google figured it out, and Google started penalizing sites. That was, again, the Penguin update of 2012. It put companies out of business that were doing that. Okay, they're still going after it, a lot of them that are getting caught today. So when I told them, like, they're going to do the same thing with social at some point. They're just trying to figure out how. They're trying to avoid that. That's what they don't want. They don't want inorganic. They want real stuff. So the best way to do it is to share it with real accounts. You have real accounts at your dealership. It could just be an email. Hey, who's active on Facebook? Who's active on Twitter? Who's active on Google+? Find out who those people are, and then make it natural. You don't put out a decree. All right, everyone, please take your Google+ account and share every page of our website or anything silly like that. It could just be a matter of making sure, putting out, hey, this is the benefit of social media. If you are active, awesome. We would love your support. If you're not active or if you don't have an account, don't worry. Don't go build one right now. Take advantage of the real accounts because I would rather have 10 real plus ones than 100 fake ones or 1,000 fake ones or anything like that. Make sure that it's all real and legit, and you'll do it. And I hate to say fake it till you make it, but I mean, even if you have to go out and talk to your kids, talk to get people close by. Hey, could you share this as some awesome pictures of whatever, the Potomac River or something. That would work out just fine too. But again, make sure that it's real. We've been accumulating real accounts and basically building allies within the social media realm since 2008, and those have been very beneficial for us. That's why it's easy for us as a company to be able to generate social signals. But if you're doing it yourself, just make sure you keep it real. Don't go out there and create 1,000 bot accounts, and because you'll be surprised when basically the social variation of Penguin comes out at some point, maybe this year, maybe next year. Who knows? It will definitely come out though, with 100% certainty. So what do you do otherwise? On Facebook and Twitter, you can still get some great popularity just by throwing a little bit of ad dollars at it. You don't have to throw much. $3, $5 a day is plenty. Share posts from your website and get it up there on your Facebook pages and share it. You can do this on Twitter as well. Easy way, especially if the content's good and stands alone. All you're doing is you're promoting the concept. You're getting it out in front of enough people. When they see it, if it's good content, they're going to like it. There's a good chance they'll like it. If you're promoting it through Twitter, $2, $3 a day, get a great tweet out there that's linking to your website. Throw $3 or $4 at it and see what happens. And what happens is you'll get a couple of extra retweets that you wouldn't have gotten before. This is a much better strategy than utilizing any of those social signal buying services. You can go out there and find these companies. We'll guarantee we'll get you 1,000 retweets for $10. Or anything like that. Again, I would rather spend $10 and get 5 or 10 retweets than spend $10 and get 1,000 fake retweets any day. Real people. Utilize the ad dollars inherent as part of Facebook and Google. Facebook and Twitter, and you'll be much better off. And 2 more quick things. Well, 1 more quick thing really. And I discussed already about using the real accounts. It's funny. Why would I put it twice? I think I had a senior moment there, Eliana. I actually repeated myself.
Really? You're 40.
Yeah.
You're 40 today. It's not really senior, is it?
So in case you didn't,
if it is, then we're in big trouble because I'm older than you.
in case you didn't catch me before, let's just reiterate. Share it with real accounts, darn it, and then at the end of the day, rinse and repeat. So we'll get into questions, but just the quick recap, the takeaways. We learned that social signals do work despite the claims. And there's people in the industry that will fight me. There could be people that call me out and say, look, you're an idiot, blah, 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 it doesn't work. I've got the data. It works. I can prove it. And ours seems to be one of the only industries where they really fight against it. because in other industries they've kind of already acknowledged, yeah, okay, thanks Google, we'll trust your actual rankings rather than your political spin doctrine. But our industry, nope, Google said this, and so that's the way it is, and so social signals are not real. I wonder, are they saying that because they really don't believe it, or are they saying that because they don't know how to get them appropriately? Who knows? Getting Google Plus going for the page and with individuals, that is hugely important. Make sure that it is working. If your Google Plus page isn't in great shape, get it in great shape. Okay, make sure that you've got content going up there, because again, it's not just plus ones. Your Google Plus page, if it's attached to your website, its health itself has an effect on the rankings of your website. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that and getting people to work and share with it. Content, content, content. It is the king. And then last but not least, make sure that you're promoting everything appropriately. So I think we did that in good time, yes?
You're great.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. What's next?
What's next? Well, audience, guess what? It's that time. We're going to get to your questions. If you haven't yet written in your question for JD Rucker, the social media and SEO guru in the automotive industry, I don't know what the heck you're waiting for. Now is your chance. Get your questions in, and we're going to get to them in just a moment. Before we do that, we got some business to take care of. It's my favorite part. I get to give away a prize to some deserving attendee out there, and today's prize is pretty frickin' fabulous, just like JD Rucker himself. So it's that time. If you missed it at the beginning of the webinar, well, I announced that our great friends at Dealer Authority, they're giving away a phenomenal prize today on the webinar. Only one of you, lucky webinar attendees, is going to win 3 months of free comprehensive social media services from Dealer Authority. Now, just so you know, Dealer Authority's social media service is the only one in the automotive industry designed from the ground up to take advantage of the targeting data that social media offers in order to sell more cars. It's singularly focused on delivering a real ROI rather than fluff or excuses. And this prize, is valued at over $3,000. All you have to do is answer a simple question about this presentation that you just saw. So get ready, because the first one to write in the correct response is going to be walking away with this amazing prize today. So I'm going to give you a second. Get to your keyboards, get your fingers all nimble and prepared to type in really fast, and good luck, everyone. And by the way, if there's any vendors out there, vendors, please sit this one out. This prize is only for those people who want to try out this offering from Dealer Authority risk-free. It is not for vendors. So here we go, everyone. Like I said, good luck. The question is, what social media site is potentially worthwhile when it comes to branding, but has no benefit for SEO? And we have our winners. And my goodness, you guys were all paying attention. Good job. Yes, the answer was Instagram. Boy, you guys are good. And our winner today, I don't recall ever seeing this person on my screen before, but I'm so glad to have you here today. Bob O'Canis? Oh, I'm sure that I butchered that. Bob, however you say your last name, congratulations. Bob O'Canis. Oh my goodness, I don't know. Bob, write on in and tell me how badly I butchered that for you, my friend. But you're our winner today. Congratulations. I'm writing your name down. If you wouldn't mind writing on in and let us know what dealership you're from. Well, boy, oh boy, I'd really appreciate that. Ocan, yes. Ocan, yes. Okay, Ocan, yes. Thank you, Bob, for that. Bob is from Ed Hicks Nissan, and we want to say congratulations. You have just scored an amazing prize for your dealership, and I'm sure Ed Hicks himself is going to come over and thank you personally, because you just scored 3 months of awesome social media services from Dealer Authority, valued at over $3,000. That's the kind of stuff we do here at DealerOn every week. So hopefully you'll come back next week and try and win another prize. Congratulations, Bob O'Canis, to today's winner over at Ed Hicks Nissan. And of course, we want to thank our good friends at Dealer Authority for their incredible generosity. Thank you so much. Oh, also, I want to let you know, the winner of the free dealer think tank ticket was Seth Wilson. Seth Wilson, you are our winner today. And don't worry, for all the rest of you who were interested in trying to win one of those free dealer think tank tickets, guess what? I'm going to be doing it again next week and the week after that, all the way up until the Dealer Think Tank on August 14th. So if you want another chance, hey, come in early next week. Write on in and let me know that you want one of those free tickets, and we're going to get you going, all right? I got a few more free tickets to give away, but I can only give out one a week, all right? So, thank you so much, JD, for putting it on that screen. But now you can go back to your screen now. All right, thank you so much. All right, let's get to some of these questions. JD, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, your first question comes to you from Elmer. Elmer wants to know, why is YouTube only likely to influence SEO? YouTube is owned by Google, and it's the second biggest search engine. Absolutely.
That's an incredible question. It's funny because I almost didn't put on the list because there is a little bit of confusion with stating it. So let me clarify. YouTube can definitely have an effect on SEO, and YouTube itself ranks wonderfully. Okay, as mentioned, YouTube is owned by Google, so absolutely, YouTube is going to rank well. You put up YouTube videos; it's a huge benefit from controlling more space on the search engine itself. The reason that it's only likely to affect is because we haven't seen it, and we're talking about it as a pure social signal for the dealership's website itself. So when you put a link to the dealership's website within the description of the YouTube video, we have seen what we believe is, I guess call it signs of life. There's a potential that by doing that you are getting that social signal influence on that particular page, especially if it's a specific page. But it's hard to tell because, like for example, a lot of dealerships will put the URL to their website in every single YouTube video. So it's one of those ones that's very difficult to test to see if it's having a true social signal SEO impact. As far as from other areas of SEO, YouTube is great. Again, it ranks well. Okay, you can embed it on your site, and if you add additional content to it, then that particular page has a tendency to rank better, and that's due to the fact that by keeping them on the page longer and perhaps getting them to click on to other pages, you're influencing your time on site and your bounce rate and all that good stuff. So YouTube definitely has a benefit, several benefits from an SEO perspective, and it likely has a benefit from a social signal perspective in regards to SEO. So great question.
Thank you so much for the great question, Elmer. Of course, if you have a follow-up question for the JD Rucker, birthday boy that he is, hey, please write on in and we'll get to it as soon as we can. All right, next question comes to you, JD, from Ruben. Ruben says, and Ruben's all over this, by the way. He wants an answer. Ruben says, so how do you know what is good SEO versus bad SEO? Meaning, how do I measure what I should buy from an SEO company and what works best? Many SEO companies want to keep all their secrets hidden. So basically he wants to know, how do you tell the good stuff from the bad stuff, or even just the average stuff, when really what you want is the great stuff? Do you have any advice? I mean, I think that's a question everyone can relate to.
I have tons of advice, maybe not even enough time in this call to advise about it. Sounds like a blog post to me that I can write about it. And we'll get to that. We'll write a blog post. So I'd love to have Ruben's email so we can see that. 3 criteria. The short answer. 3 criteria. First and foremost, you mentioned secret sauce or not willing to show what they're doing. That's a warning sign to me. Okay. You should be able to see all of it. Social signals are, if there's anything that's obscure, it is social signals, because they are hard to track. Like, in other words, you can have a hard time seeing whether or not social signals are working unless you have those right appropriate buttons on your website. Then it's quite a bit easier. But again, that's harder to report, because let's say I take a piece of content and I'll plug it into Google Plus. We don't get alerts. We have to check later, and it's an ongoing thing. So we might check it a day later, and it's got 5+1s. Okay, that's great. We check 2 days later, it's got 7+1s. It's ongoing. So that part is a little bit more obscure, but everything else, every inbound link, every piece of content, everything that's being done from an SEO perspective, if it's too secret to show you, then it's not real SEO, because Google tells us, Google gives us the playbook. They tell us exactly what works. They don't give us the specifics they give it very generalized. They don't say this is the type of content you need. What they do is they say write great content for people. It's enough information to where a good SEO worth their weight is going to be able to take that information and run with it. Okay, Google, you want great content, so we're going to get good writers, and we're going to write up great content. We're going to write it for people. We don't care what you think, and by not caring what Google thinks about the content, Google will appreciate that and love the content. That's kind of the concept with content itself. Write it for individuals. Write it for people that are visiting the page. Inbound links, every single one should be actually able to monitor it. If they have, well, we don't want to show you where all the links are coming from, run away. That's a lie. You should be able to see. These should be, if they're not worth showing, we probably show our links because these are links that other people can't get. These are links that are on websites that we're proud of. Hey, look at this link. This is an awesome link from a PageRank 5 tech site. This is something that we know that other SEO companies can't get, and we want to show it to them. Criteria number 2 is the rankings, and I want to be very careful with this because rankings can be misleading. I actually had one of our clients reach out. They said, "Look, I got this report from another company that showed that we're ranking terribly." And he showed me the report, and I'm just like, "Wow, these keywords are worthless." You're right. You're not ranked for I think it was like 2014 Abilene Honda Accord or something like that. Okay, no human being types in 2014 Abilene Honda Accord. So why would I care about ranking for that? You can pick out any website. I don't care if the greatest optimization minds have been working on it for 10 years. You can pick out any website and find 500 keywords in an hour that they should be ranking for theoretically, but they're not. Stick with the hard ones, okay? Stick with your major metro and your brand. That's the first indicator. If you do a search for if it's a metro like Albany Chevrolet dealers, that's a good valid keyword. That's something that makes sense. If it's a smaller state like Massachusetts or New Jersey, do a search for Volvo, New Jersey. That's a valid keyword. These are the types of keywords that can actually that they should be trying to rank for. So check the keywords. Then the most important thing, by far, is to check Google Analytics. Okay, check your Google Analytics. You should be seeing you should be able to see an increase in organic traffic, and it shouldn't be a small increase. We're in a growth market, so when you're comparing year over year, June of this year versus June of last year, July of this year versus July of last year, we're not talking about, oh, great, we got a 6% bump in organic traffic. You should be seeing probably, in some cases, 20, 30, 50% bump in organic traffic year over year if you've been working with the company for long enough. So focus on those things. Don't look at the, I wouldn't judge any company based upon the workload. I would judge them based upon the results, because anybody can show you, yes, we did this, this, and this, and sometimes they won't show you that, but if it's working, then you're going to get more organic traffic as a result. So focus on those numbers. That'll be the real guiding force.
Yeah, Ruben, thank you so much for the great question. It actually spawned another question that came in from James. Well, first he had a comment. He says, well, I believe that you should only do business with those that you trust, and you should build a relationship with them. But then he also went on to say that his dealer principal recently got an email from their OEM stating that the dealership didn't rank for how to buy a Ford in Montana. So JD, I guess the question is, would that be a search term that most people should try and rank for?
Well, I do know, I can tell you this, that there is at least one person in Dearborn, Michigan that did that search and thought that it was valid, but probably the other 180 million searchers in the United States would never actually type that in. No, that's not a valid keyword. I'm very disappointed that an OEM would be pushing in that direction. Sounds to me like somebody at the OEM levels, and this does happen. Keep in mind, we look at the OEMs and we think, oh wow, I don't know what your opinions of them are, but we think, wow, they've got some pretty smart people there. You might, as dealers, you might think, no, they don't, but we have to figure they've got some good people working, but everybody can be manipulated. Everybody can be manipulated by consultants. Everybody seems to know better. I could go on for another hour and a half on this one topic alone, but again, focus on what you know. What you use Google, okay? if something sounds like, wow, I would never type that in, then it's real. It's real. Real as in it's not a real keyword, that people would type in. Keep it short, keep it simple. Those are the keywords that you should rank for. Not anything that saddens me. I'm actually that's the worst news I've had on my birthday yet.
Oh my gosh, it is.
That the OEMs would push that. Focus on, you should rank for, if you're in Mobile, Alabama, you should rank for 2014 Nissan Altima Mobile. And you should probably also rank for 2014 Nissan Altima Pensacola, and things like that. But because it is close enough, maybe not at the very top, but you should be able to get into Pensacola. It's close enough. Once you start getting into more obscure keywords, then they can be detrimental. There's no reason to rank for those at all. Focus on the things that can actually drive traffic. And if you want to know which keywords those are, the best place to check is Webmaster Tools. Webmaster Tools will show you which search terms are, they'll give you a list of search terms that are valid, that are, that you're ranking for, and they'll show you what kind of search volume, how many times that search. It won't show you how many times that search was done. It'll show you how many times you showed up for that search. So if you see something in there and it's showing, wow, this one, I showed up 400 times for this particular search, and you do that search on Google and you find that you're number 8, that's a keyword that you should work on. That's how we find our keywords. We're looking for the keywords that people in the local area are actually searching for, and it's never, how to buy a Ford if you're living in Montana in July. Those aren't valid keywords. Like Webmaster Tools guides you on the types of keywords, and you'll be fine. And let your intuition guide you. We're smart people here on this call. We all know what sounds like a good keyword and what doesn't. If you have any questions, Webmaster Tools is the right place to go.
Well,
I'm sad.
No, James is very upset that he made you sad on your birthday, and he says he's sorry, JD. He still loves you, and he's going to send you some Twitter love to cheer you up. So thank you so much, James.
He didn't make me sad. Ford made me sad.
Oh, Ford made you sad? All right, well, I'll tell you what, let's get to some more of these questions before we really lose them. And, to your point about picking the right keywords, I was helping a friend of mine out who owns a masonry, he does concrete for a living, right? And so he's putting together his website, and he's asking me about keywords, and then the name in his company is his last name, Masonry, so he's all about the masonry keywords. And I was like, I really think you should stay away from the word masonry. Don't put your energy in that. And he said, why? I was like, no one's going to type that in. No one uses the word masonry. They'll use concrete. They'll use cement, but they're not going to use the word masonry. And so he really didn't believe me. He said, but it's the name of my company. I have to. I said, okay, do the name of your company, but other than that, just go with concrete. So I told him, look, go around, ask all your friends. Ask anyone, and say, what would you type in to find a company like mine? And he's like, wow, I asked like 100 people, and 100 people said they would use concrete. So there you go. I think it's the same thing, if it doesn't sound like something that the average person would type in, the average person's probably not typing it in. All right, let's go to this next question from Michael. Michael says, video integration into all social posts enhances SEO and VSEO rankings. Is there ever an opportunity where video integration is not recommended? Yeah, that's his question. Is there ever an opportunity where video integration is not recommended, or should we always be using video in our social posts?
Well, so if the question, I think I understand that question properly, but just to clarify, if the question is whether or not you should always post videos no matter what with every post, then the answer is no. You do want to mix it up. If the question is, should you post every video that you make, if it's a high quality video, absolutely. Every video that if you put time and effort into creating a walk around video, a service video, a why buy from us video, and you should be putting effort into getting these videos out there. If you're going to take time to make the video, then yes, you want to get it published everywhere. Not even from a pure SEO perspective. You want to make sure that it's getting out there, and you might want to double, triple dip. In other words, if you've got a great video I'm not talking about video about the big sales event coming up. I'm talking about a real useful video. Why buy from us? People will actually watch those videos. They want to know why. Oh, so you're going to tell me why we should buy from you and not somebody else. Let's see what your reasons are. If you got a good walk-around video about cars that's in-depth and really shows high quality about it, awesome. Put it up there. And again, by double, triple dipping, you might want to take that video, post it to YouTube, and then put it up on Facebook from YouTube. Then go through, put it on your blog, on your own website, write something up about it, and then a week later, 2 weeks later, post that video again. From the blog post the blog post about the video onto Facebook, and then triple dip it a little bit later and take the actual video itself, and instead of using YouTube or Vimeo or anything like that, actually upload it directly to Facebook and let it permeate there, because you'll get the most exposure for that video through Facebook by having a native video rather than a YouTube video or a blog post. So absolutely, video is very powerful, but I would say less from an SEO perspective and more from a content marketing perspective, which does have an effect on SEO, but really what you're trying to do is you're trying to get out there, take these things and get the word out that doing business with you is worthwhile, not just because you have the lowest price or the biggest inventory, but because you're real, you're humans, people love video, they watch them all the time, it's overtaking, I'm not going to go get into the statistics, but yes, video is awesome. Now don't overkill. In other words, don't make it, I wouldn't say that every single post that you put up on your website and on Twitter and on Facebook, that all of those should be videos, and don't use worthless videos. While and when I say worthless, I'm not going to rip on some of these companies that create these stock videos. They have their value and they're worthwhile, but this taking a piece of inventory and having the video about that car with the voiceover, stuff like that has benefits to when people are actually on your site, but it's not something I would share on Facebook, per se. If it's a real walk around, awesome. If it's something that's automated and you got 1,000 of those videos, no need to put them up and share those on social media itself.
Michael wrote
I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, Michael wrote back in and he said, well, obviously content is key and video is great content, but I guess he wanted to know, will video boost your SEO even further than anything else?
Oh, I got you. So, yes, great video content. If I'm given the choice from an SEO perspective, if I'm given the choice between including a video on a post, and I have videos available for every post, absolutely, I would put a video on all those posts, but I wouldn't focus strictly on it. In other words, like I'd mentioned earlier about the Chevy Corvette that had a video, actually had 2 videos. That page had a lot of text, a lot of actual writing about the Corvette, and then it had lots of images of it as well. So it was a very robust post to say, to take, if it's just going to be the video itself, no, that's not going to be a good way to do it, because you have to enhance the video in a way. If you're going to put it on a blog post, it's not just saying, here's another alternative way for them to see the video. You have to add to the video, add to it through text or through images or both to enhance it. Video is very powerful. Okay, video SEO can be very powerful from the perspective of getting a YouTube video ranked is not going to sell you that car in most cases, but if that video is ranked and if your website is also ranked for the same keyword and you're ranked number 1 and number 2, let's say, with your website and with the video, that means that somebody else, a competitor who could have been ranked number 2, is now ranked number 3, and that person that was ranked number 10 is now on page 2. There's lots of benefits to video. For optimizing the website itself, video is a tool, but it should not be the strategy. Sounds like it's going to be a longer. Let's if you could send me that information, we can talk one-on-one, because it's a great question. It's an important one to understand. Not enough time to go into great detail about it here, but that's one we should address.
Thank you, Michael, for the great question. Next question comes to you from Ashley. And Ashley said, and you did cover this, but I guess she just wanted to make sure she understood you. She said, which has more of an effect on your Facebook likes and shares, organic content or boosted posts? And then she went on to say, I mean, how important would you say it is to have, oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. She went on to say, if we just put up a post and get 5 likes and 1 share from people that follow our page, do you feel that has the same, better, or worse effect than a boosted post that may generate 90 likes and 40 shares?
Sure. So, very good question. First and foremost, there's a whole discussion there about boosting posts. We don't believe in boosting posts at all. So that's, but utilizing back-end advertising is very strong. Making sure that's targeted and all that good stuff. We can go into details about that offline. But as far as if the targeting is appropriate, if you're going after real people and getting the likes, yes, the organic. There's like Google doesn't differentiate between an organic like and a paid like. They don't differentiate between. All they look at is that this one was popular. They can't tell that it was necessarily that it was promoted through Facebook advertising. Nor can they tell if it was the same thing with Twitter. They can't see, and it's not that they can't see. They probably could see, but they don't care. That's not their concern. They feel that whether it's promoted or whether it's organic, that people obviously like the content. So the more people that like the content, the better from their perspective. Now, with that said, again, they are looking for quality controls as far as understanding the actual impact of an individual. They're trying to learn the authority of an individual. So when I say more is better, I always want to be careful that more is better if you're utilizing the advertising aspect of social media on Facebook and Twitter. More is not better if you're buying Facebook likes or buying Google +1s or buying retweets through outside services that are selling them. Because again, you can go on there, you can find pretty much, it's almost like Priceline. Pick your number, pick how much you want and how much you're willing to spend, and you'll probably find it. There's probably somebody out there that'll sell 10,000 Facebook likes for $50. I don't know, but it doesn't matter what the number is. It could be 20 Facebook likes for $20. No, avoid those altogether. Go straight through Facebook. Put high-quality content up there. Get it shared. And if you're getting it shared just organically and you are getting 5 likes and a share, that's awesome. You're doing fine. That's better than what your competitors are doing today. So keep that up. If you can throw $5 a day of Facebook ads and turn that from 5 to 20 to 30, to, like you said, 90, awesome. Then do that too. It's all a function of budget, and it's a much more holistic strategy question, because you don't want to. When I say sharing and utilizing advertising for social media, it's not purely just for social signals. There's actually greater benefits than just the social signal aspect of it, but it is a very valid strategy to help you if your primary or even only goal is to get SEO rankings improved.
Thank you so much. We're down to our last 3 questions, unless we get some more questions in from the audience. So let's go to this one from my buddy Sharpie. Sharpie wants to know, okay, I have a question. Being that a big part of the goal is to get people to our website, is it smart to have links from our website to our social media outlets? We all know how easy it is to get lost in Facebook. And let's not even talk about YouTube. And if folks are lost in one of these places, well, then they're not on my website. So what is the best way to do it?
Absolutely. Great question. So back in, I would say it was approximately 2011, got a call from a great company. You may have heard of them, Dadium. And I said, we got some really cool information. We wanted to get your perspective on it. And what they found out was that people are clicking on those buttons, because here's the thing, they're clicking on those buttons on almost every website. It's hard to find a website that doesn't have a and I'm not talking dealer websites, I'm saying in general, it's hard to find websites that don't have links to their Facebook page, their Twitter account, their YouTube, their +1, their Pinterest, whatever. At least Facebook in most cases, Twitter in most cases as well. So there's that leak aspect of it. And as of that point, I was of the impression that maybe you want to bury them. Maybe you just want to put them at the bottom. Maybe you don't want to encourage it, but you do want to at least make it visible. So because they do want to find out about what you're doing, in real life. They want to see, are they, you get the picture there. So but the data that was shared from Dadium basically said that yes, there are some people, I don't remember the exact percentages. It's like 11%, 5%, something like that. There is a percentage of people that are clicking on the social media buttons, leaving the website and going to those pages. But the thing that they found interesting was that 94% of them had already been on the site for an extended period of time. And of those people, there was a very, very good chunk of them that had filled out a lead form. Like, in other words, if you compare the people that clicked on the social media icons versus the people that did not click on the social media icons, there was a much higher percentage of the people that did click on them that did so after filling out a lead form. So the point they were trying to make is, we think, our contention is that people are going to the dealership, finding a car they like, filling out a lead form, and then now they filled out a lead form, they want to look to see who they might be doing business with. So they're clicking through to Facebook to check them out, see, hey, are these good guys? Or are they doing charity work? Are they posting videos, or are they even active at all? So at that point, it actually became the exact opposite. They filled out a lead form. We've got their contact information. We have the opportunity to sell them a car. Now we want them to get lost on Facebook rather than go to a competitor's website. That was their contention. I agreed with it, and so yes, I would say that even though we want to keep them on the website, because the vast majority of people are clicking on those buttons when they're done, it's not like they're seeing, oh my gosh, what is this? What is this F? Oh, that's Facebook. Oh, I've got to get on Facebook right now. I know I'm considering buying a $40,000 car, but man, I really want to see a picture of little Timmy sliding into third base. They don't do that. They want to check you out after they've considered doing business with you. So I do recommend keeping the social media buttons very valid, very, very visible, maybe not prominent, but at least don't make them hunt for it either. Even if it's just small buttons in the footer, that's fine. Small buttons in the header, that's fine too. I'm not big on the whole, big, huge, 600, half the screen is a Facebook button. I don't like those at all. They might accidentally click and then you did lose them. But give them the opportunity to look at you. If you're proud of your social media, give them an opportunity to look at you after they've already considered doing business with you. And now you got them trapped.
Trapped. That's what we want to do. We want to trap them. And Sharpie says, well, there you go. Sounds like I need to put these buttons on my site. Now I feel like an idiot.
Oh, no. But it's not a big. Here's the thing. It's not a big deal either way. Okay, it's minor. Like, in other words, if at this point, if the biggest question or the biggest challenge you're having is with anything like that, you're in great shape, because there are, buttons, no buttons, not going to make a huge difference in sales, but it can help, I believe, to have the buttons on there, according to the Dadium data. Say that 6 times fast.
I can't. And I talk for a living. Well, Sharpie, thank you so much for the great question. I want to get to this question from Ashley. And Ashley says, how important would you say it is to have a YouTube account with hundreds of videos? Does it make more sense to create a few unique and qualified videos and optimize them? Or would creating, say, 200 videos at once and blasting them out sit better with Google and their algorithms?
Another wonderful question. And another longer answer, but I think I can narrow this one down to be more concise.
Okay.
The popularity of a page is based upon quality of the content and how it's taken into account. So the short answer is I would rather have fewer high-quality videos than tons of videos. And the reason being is because if you've got 50 videos, or let's say 100 videos, and they all have 2, 3, 5, 10 views, then Google doesn't view that as nicely as if you have videos that you're taking, promoting high-quality stuff, really pushing it out there, and now you've got this one great video that's got 300 likes or 300 views, and maybe 4, 5, 7 thumbs up. You've got this other video that did well, and people seem to like it. And then when you post that key fob video or whatever, now Google's going to say, you know what? They seem to be doing okay. People seem to watch their video and like it. Let's see what happens if we put this in the search rankings for when people do a search for Mazda key fob or Mazda key fob battery. Now you're starting to get into the 10, 20, 30, 50, 100,000 views and 2,000 plus ones, and now the next time you post a video at that point, it's going to rank because Google's going to say this channel is putting out content that our customers, again, their customers are the searchers, this channel is putting out content that people love. If you put out, anybody can put out 1,000 videos. There's services that'll literally just blast out tons and tons and tons of videos. Quality first, quantity second. but don't rest on that. In other words, don't say, oh, well, we'll put up 2 videos a year and we'll make sure they're awesome. No, you want to get some bulk in there. You want to make sure there's some meat to it, but yeah, focus on quality versus dozens, hundreds of videos that aren't getting any likes, views, shares, anything like that.
Okay. David wrote in, JD is a really smart guy. I know he is. Okay, couple last questions. Michael, great question. He says, JD, any great tips to prompt engagement on posts? Real fast, JD. Anything that comes to mind?
So if you're to prompt engagements on, please clarify, are we talking about Facebook, Google+, Twitter posts, or are we talking about blog posts
on
your website?
He didn't say that. Michael, right back on in.
So I'll go to an answer assuming that it's posts on like Facebook, for example.
Okay.
Facebook and Twitter, it is about the ads. This is pay to play. You know, we can focus on organic, and we are there. You can get some organic love. I'm not going to say it's impossible, even though I would say a lot of people think that it is impossible. It's not impossible. You can get organic love, but it's not very easy because Facebook is not presenting business pages nearly, I mean, not even close to as much as they were just 6 months ago, and definitely not what they were a year and 2 years ago. They've been on the trend of pushing away from that. They're really focusing on, and it's not because, oh, they're greedy, they just want you to buy the ads. Yeah, that's partially true, but it's because the user feedback was, man, I like 30 pages, and I'm seeing, you know, I would prefer to see my friends rather than these pages. You know, so they would like the page, but then, you know, then they wouldn't really want to see much from them. That was kind of the trend, and then Facebook obliged. Plus, the advertising component is very matched if you do it the right way. And people, keep in mind, they apply the algorithm to the sponsored, the paid posts. So it's not like you pay and you're in. It's the most stringent algorithm in the world. People will ask me which is harder, you know, ranking on Google or doing well on Google or doing well on Facebook. Doing well on Facebook is much harder. That's why we spend a good chunk of my research time researching Facebook as much as Google. Anyway, back to the question. So, is there anything you can do to get organic love? Not really. You know, if you've got a good audience, the questions will work. But I warn you, make sure you're already getting some engagement before you try to get more engagement through questions, because there's nothing wrong or there's nothing worse than asking a question that nobody answers. So what do you think about this, or caption this, or whatever I know some of these companies are doing, and you see nobody replies. That's kind of embarrassing, you know. So make sure that you're getting at least some love, some interaction before you go down the road of asking questions. You know, people say, well, hashtags will get you more exposure. Yes, that's true on Twitter. Not true on Facebook. Facebook, you get no exposure through the hashtags. What you do get is you get it to, hashtags are valid in calling out that individual post as a, you know, basically getting it a little highlighter or a little flag that will catch people's attention as they're going through their newsfeed. But yeah, the main thing is find the budget. I mean, we're talking $150, $300, you know, $450. Doesn't matter. You compared to what you're spending on a lot of these other things, like, you know, not to rip on Auto Trader or anything like that, but I mean, you know, you're spending tens of thousands of dollars on TV and you know, thousands of dollars on Auto Trader or whatever, Cars.com, and you know, tens of thousands on Google Plus. My gosh, find $150, $5 a day on Facebook can work wonders for your dealership if you're applying the right strategy and utilizing the social media campaigns appropriately. Now, did Michael write back, and was that the question, or did I answer a question that he didn't ask?
Well, he wrote back all, so I don't know if we have enough time for that. And then most impacted for SEO benefits via posting, like Google Plus. So.
No. Oh, absolutely. So on Google Plus, there is no secret formula. There is no way to game it, or there's ways to game it. There's no ways to effectively game it, and there's no way to do advertising unless you have 1,000 plus ones. If you have 1,000 plus ones, you can advertise off of Google, on other websites, with your Google Plus. That's a whole different strategy, and if you don't have 1,000 plus, or if you're not in 1,000 circles, then it won't help. You're not allowed to do it, so that's a whole other thing. But as far as getting engaged on Google Plus, it is hard. It's almost impossible because they're not there yet. But that doesn't mean you should give up. You still need to get those plus ones, and you can do that utilizing the strategy we set. There are people at the dealership, believe it or not, that have a plus one account. that have a Google account that they're relatively active on. You know, I know that they may not be willing to admit it, but they are out there. You know, Dan Fontaine over at Colonial, I think it's Colonial. You know, he's a +1 master. You know,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that guy knows more about Google Plus than he knows more than most Google Plus experts when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I'd encourage you to reach out to him, see what some of his strategies are. Otherwise, utilize what I posted in here or what we talked about today, which is go through, you know, find people, get your friends, get people to do it, get the +1s, and again, focus on high quality content. Unfortunately, it's hard because Google Plus is not at the same place that Facebook and Twitter are at, where you can really A, have a bigger audience, and B, pay to get more exposure for it. You're not there yet, but they will be someday. Keep pushing for +1s. It'll work. You know, again, I hate to use the term, but it is real. Fake it till you make it. Just don't buy fake ones.
Okay.
You know? Don't buy them.
Don't buy them. All right. Last question, and I think he's just kidding, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Comes from AJ. He says, "Do cats really sell cars?" I don't know what that's from, but apparently you do. So,
if you can get you a video of a cat driving a car and doing well on the road, you know, then you can probably promote that as our cars are so awesome that even cats can drive them. Otherwise, no. Cats and social media, they mix very well, but in our business, we kind of want to stay focused on cars, and cars.
Okay. Well, you heard it from the master himself. Audience, I hope you enjoyed today's presentation from JD Rucker of Dealer Authority. Certainly, if you have any follow-up questions for him, seriously, I've known this guy the entire time I've been in the auto industry, and he is one of my, one of my very favorite people. Absolutely. So I highly recommend you reaching out to him. He's a great guy to do business with, and he is absolutely a wealth of knowledge. So don't hesitate to reach out to him. He is one of the nicest guys ever. JD, thank you so very much, and I hope you have an absolutely fantastic birthday. Thank you so much for spending it today with us.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were going to cry, but instead of...
I was... No, I was sneezing, and I was trying to hold it. I was like, hurry up, Eliana, hurry up, hurry up. I want to say thank you, and then... okay, well, that ruined the whole webinar. Let's do it over.
I can't.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me, and I appreciate it.
Oh, we'll have you on again sometime soon, I'm sure. Fantastic presentation today. Of course, we're way past the top of the hour, but don't worry, I recorded this, and we're going to send you out that link within 24 hours. I want to remind the audience that you are going to be getting that email later on today. Please feel free to share it with friends and colleagues. And this webinar is also going to be posted online within 24 hours. Just go to DealerOn.com/webinars, and you can click on the link on the right-hand side for on-demand webinars. And from there, you can access any of our past webinars. You can also view and register for our upcoming webinars, too. Also, at the conclusion of this webinar, in just a moment, you're going to receive a short survey. Man, JD, you went really fast over that. Yeah, right there. Stay right there. Do you want to sneeze again? Go ahead, sneeze. You're going to receive a short survey. Fill it out. We're always looking for great feedback from our audience. We want to know what you thought about JD's presentation today. We're going to randomly select a couple of people from all the completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. So if you're on the hunt for some prizes, you got to fill out that survey for our last prize of the day. I also want to let you know, DealerOn is excited to announce their involvement at the upcoming Dealer Think Tank in Washington, D.C., August 14th. The Dealer Think Tanks have been garnering tremendous praise for their intensely informative, fun-filled education workshops that educate everyone from the greenest of the green to the most seasoned industry veteran. So you don't want to miss it. If you haven't gotten your ticket yet, well, DealerOn is here to help with an exclusive code that's going to save you 50% off of the registration. Just use that code that's on your screen, and you could score 50% off the ticket price. And I will be giving away one free ticket every webinar up until August 14th. So if you want to win a free Dealer Think Tank ticket, well, your chance is coming up next Thursday, so you don't want to miss that either. And for more information, go to dealerthinktank.com. Now, invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next webinar, How to Rev Up Your Content Marketing Strategy in Just 90 Days with Eric Milch. Content isn't just important these days, it is crucial, and a robust content marketing strategy is essential for all businesses focused on building trust, branding, awareness, and positive sentiment. It also establishes your company as an expert in your field, which sets the groundwork for long-term business relationships. And furthermore, while most people instinctively tune out traditional, intrusive marketing, well, consumers increasingly crave the type of genuine, customer-focused information that a strong, comprehensive content marketing campaign can yield. However, most dealerships find it hard to come up with quality content, and some find it just as difficult to produce an effective plan to deliver it. Do you need help with your content marketing strategy? Well, not to fear. The expert in content marketing strategy is here, and he's ready to help. Digital marketing expert Eric Milch will show you how to rev up your content strategy in just 90 days. Expect to leave with at least a dozen actionable items that's going to change the way your website and content marketing strategy is handled at your dealership and prepare your site for the semantic web. If you're finally ready to rev up your content marketing strategy in just 90 days, well, then you can't afford to miss this incredible presentation. And don't forget, DealerOn's weekly webinars are held every Thursday, 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. And we have some really great webinar subjects planned for this year. But if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding our webinars and our topics, feel free to contact me directly. Again, my name is Eliana Raggio. I love hearing from you, so track me down online. I'm everywhere, Google+, Facebook, Twitter. I'm on all the automotive social networks, or you can email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and I hope to see you all on a future webinar in our continuing education series. Have a great one.